everybody. Welcome back to another episode of the Florida Holidays podcast. My name's Abby, and I am joined today by my lovely co-host.
I thought you were going to say my name. So I am Zara, social media and marketing exec for Ocean, Florida. And we've got another special guest with us. We are joined by the lovely Helen from Passport Stamps.
Hello, thank you for having me.
Thank you so much for joining us. Do you want to tell us a little bit about yourself for anybody that might not know quite who you are yet?
So I have a blog, passportstamps.uk, and the social media channels that go with it. And I am a travel journalist. I spent a lot of time in Florida.
Lucky you.
One of my favourite things to talk about is other things that you can do in Florida that aren't the things everyone knows you can do, which are theme parks, because it is an amazing state to visit in the USA, and there's just so much to do.
I know. You say Florida and you think of Orlando, but there is such a lot more.
Yeah, so much more.
So what have we got coming up today, Abs?
Yeah, so today we're going to talk about hidden gems. We're going to talk about things that are not so obvious. We're going to talk about the beautiful Florida beaches on the Gulf Coast and the Gold Coast. We're going to talk about how you can sort of introduce something new to your Orlando holiday by doing maybe a twin centre or a multi-centre, so you can actually get 2 holidays for one, if you like.
Love
so you
that.
can do your Orlando trip, but then you can maybe tag something a little bit different onto that, whether that's a beach, whether that's a city. We're going to talk about how you get from A to B, whether that's on the Bright Line. And just all of the different things that you can do in Florida, because there is so much.
There is so much.
A lot of people just don't even think about. So hopefully today everyone will, have some new ideas and have learnt a little bit about some of the hidden gems of Florida.
Yeah.
How much time have you got?
I know. I am going to just kick us off with one of my favourite places in Florida, which is Anna Maria Island.
Oh, yeah.
I'm so jealous that you both have been. It's still on my list, so I'm here to soak up everything you want to tell me.
Yeah.
It's just, it's paradise, isn't it?
It is paradise, yeah. So it's for anybody that doesn't know, it's just a couple of hours away from Orlando, so it's on the Gulf Coast, and it's just a tiny barrier island, pretty much. Not very big at all. I don't actually know how big it is, but it's not huge.
It feels small, doesn't it?
It
probably
feels
is
small.
bigger than it feels, but it does feel small.
For sure.
Yeah, the
for
main
sure.
beach is about 7 miles long, isn't it? Which, for a whole state, that's tiddly.
Yeah,
That's not
so
big.
you've got the sort of northern tip of the barrier island, which is Bean Point, and then you can go all the way down. Holmes Beach is probably one of the bigger resorts, but then you can keep going a little bit further all the way down to Bradenton, Longboat Key. So Anna Maria Island, it's really, really known for low-rise buildings. So it's nothing like Miami, for example. Everything is low-rise. It's definitely quirky.
I love quirky.
And what I like about it is so much of it is walkable as well, which I
Perfect.
think is quite unusual, isn't it? In Florida, there's not that many places where you can walk.
If you're used to Orlando, go into somewhere in Florida that you can walk is like a dream come true.
It is.
Yeah.
And not being stuck in any traffic. Sometimes busy to get in, but once you're on the island, there's no traffic. It feels like island life.
It
doesn't
does.
it?
I mean, a lot of people actually, I noticed when I went that a lot of people barely even drive cars, actually. What people tend to do is hire golf buggies, don't they?
Yeah, we did that, yeah.
And they just sort of, scattered all around the island. People have just sort of parked them anywhere, if you like. And either way, any part of Anna Maria Island that you're on, you sort of, the one side you've got all the beautiful canals and the waterways, and then on the other side, you've obviously got the beautiful Gulf and the beaches.
Yeah.
the beach is just... it's
the sunsets.
Yeah, the most incredible sunsets.
Yeah.
And it's just, if you go up to Bean Point, which is at the very end of the island.
Yeah.
That sunset, it's panoramic. It's
It
basically
is.
it's like you're in the middle of the world. It's just so nice. It's hard to explain what it's like, isn't it?
It is. There's nothing better than sort of sitting on the beach with your feet in the sand at sunset, having some, stunning seafood.
Oh, treat me.
It really is heaven.
It's
not-
one of,
sorry, go
Melanie.
on.
I was going to say, it's one of those places where the people that live there are very proud to live there.
Yeah.
And so it's a very friendly place, you know, like wherever you go, there'll be somebody to talk, talking to you, or you can talk to, like obviously beach bars, restaurants all along the front there. And it's just like, if you've come from, so you were talking about doing dual centres.
Yes.
If you've come from a theme park holiday, an Orlando holiday, to Anna Maria Island, I mean, there's no greater contrast between the two things.
No.
It's the absolute best thing you can do after a couple of busy weeks to go there, or busy week before, to go there and just. It's like a different. I mean, it doesn't even feel like Florida. It feels like a completely different place.
It does. It really does feel like. It feels like you're in the Caribbean, or you're in some stunning beach location. But you are actually just a couple of hours from all of the action.
I could get on board with
In
that,
Orlando.
definitely.
Yeah,
little,
for sure.
Little week in Orlando and then a few nights on Anna Maria Island. And do you know
Yeah.
what? I love the Gulf Coast because I don't like big waves. So
Yes, really calm.
Gulf
Yeah.
Coast for me is like preferable, especially I've got a little girl as well. So, anything that's a bit calmer, if I
Yeah.
don't have
Oh, it's
to worry
great for
about
that.
big Atlantic waves for me, that's a bonus as well.
You do have to worry about running into a manatee.
Yeah,
Oh, I don't mind that. I don't mind that.
They're
just swimming.
and we saw turtles.
Yeah.
Just swimming right off the coast. Manatees, dolphins. I mean, all of those. Florida, that
it.
Florida wildlife.
Yeah.
If you like wildlife, like it's just. I mean, it's you. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, I think it's definitely paradise, sort of not too far out of Orlando. There's a free trolley bus that you can go up and down, so you really can see the whole area, and there's some really nice little streets full of independent businesses and things like that.
Yeah,
as
I was
well
going to
that are
say that
walkable.
it's really nice and like sort of less commercial than other places in Florida. Just like little local ice cream shops. We
Yeah.
went to a little shop where you could build your own donuts. Like
Oh, I love
They
that.
make them for you, little ice cream shops, little independent bars.
Yeah.
It's just so nice. And like you were saying about it being, people don't drive around. Like, we would ride our bikes around, so we
Yes.
had bikes. The kids
that's
are in
what
the back.
so
and-
idyllic.
yeah, and if you like, some people obviously it's like such a come down from Orlando being really busy. You can kayak, you can paddleboard around the waterways.
Yes.
Yeah, you've got your bikes.
Yeah.
Like there's, if you want active relaxation, it is a good place to go for that as well. But it's also just a great place to switch off.
Yeah. Yeah.
I love that. I love the sound of
I know.
completely switching off.
Beautiful.
Well, with how old your daughter is 5.
She's 3
4.
at the
Oh,
minute,
3.
yeah.
Yeah, there's no switching
No
off. I'm
switching
afraid,
off
no.
yet. I can dream for a few more years.
So talking about switching off, have you ever been to the Florida Keys? Because that's another favourite of mine as well. Have you ever been there?
Yes, I love the
love the
Keys.
Keys.
I've been to the Keys with my kids and without them. 2 very different holidays, I must say. Actually, once I went to the Florida Keys and I accidentally timed it with the same weekend as a lot of naked motorbike riders on Harley Davidsons with no clothes on, riding down. There's an annual festival, and I just happened to be there, and all of these naked Harley Davidson drivers. And I was like, well, now I know I'm in Key West, because I feel like there's always something
Key
crazy
West
going
is
on in Key
wild.
West.
Yeah.
It is.
Yeah.
Key West is a really strange place to try and describe to somebody. Like all the
is.
pastel coloured houses and beautiful buildings and sort of boutique shops, and then there's like chickens wandering
Yeah, the
around.
cockerels. Is that what
It
they
is
are?
so strange. So when I went to the Keys, we did it while I was living out in Orlando, and we road tripped down with my friends. My friend's parents lived on the Keys. They lived in Isla Mirada.
That's my
I mean, it was. I mean, their house was beautiful. They had like a deck, and we could sit up on the roof, look at the stars.
Oh, are we allowed to hate them?
I know, a little bit. Yeah. They're the kind of friends you want, right?
Yeah, definitely.
But we did all sorts of different things. Like every key has got a very different vibe. We did like feeding the tarpon at Robbie's.
Robbie's Marina.
terrifying. It is
Yeah.
terrifying, but
Have you
if
done
you've got
this?
to do
Yes,
it.
I have,
Have you
yeah.
done it?
Yeah, I have done it, and it's terrifying.
My
I'm
friend's
warning you,
huge.
people.
Yes, my
huge.
friend was like, we're going to go and feed some fish. And I was like, oh, all right. I had very different visions
Yeah.
than what it
I
was.
think I'd rather feed an alligator.
Yeah, so anybody who doesn't know, these tarpon, they're ginormous.
They're huge,
And
yeah.
you feed them, and there's a whole thing where like the birds, they swoop down.
Oh,
they want
it's
to
the
get all
birds that are the problem, isn't it?
Yeah,
Because
they're
they want the
terrifying.
fish. But
Yeah.
it's so much fun. I mean, I don't think I laughed. I probably laughed
Yeah,
the most.
it's a lot of fun.
I mean, I don't know how much how much food the fish got.
Yeah.
Because I was just like,
Chuck it
just throw it
everywhere.
everywhere, I guess.
But then like that is such a different vibe than like going down to Key West. Like I said, it's very quirky.
Yeah.
But you've two absolute photo opportunities. You get to mile marker 0, and you get that iconic photo, and down at the southernmost point, sort of the big thing that's there, where you're closer to Cuba than you are to the continental US. Like, that's like 2 key spots you've absolutely got it. And key lime pie on a stick.
Key lime pie. But it has to be yellow. It can't be green. No, it's not meant to be green. So if you see it green, you've got to... not the real thing. It's got to be yellow.
Not the real deal.
Yeah.
So you road tripped down to the Keys.
Yes.
Did you? Because I think you can actually get the Bright Line now, can't you? To as far as Miami.
Yeah. So
it's making it a little bit not closer, obviously, but a little bit quicker of a journey, because I think it takes around 2.5-3 hours, does it, to drive from Key Largo down to Key West? It's
a substantial journey. I mean, like we stopped off
just a one lane.
And going over like the 7 Mile Bridge over the Keys. That's iconic, isn't it?
Yeah.
But you can get the Bright Line down. So if you're staying in Orlando, having a week or so in Orlando, head out to Orlando International Airport, get the Bright Line, which is the train, high-speed train. It's shiny, it's beautiful, brand new. You've been on it.
I've been on it. I'm a big fan.
Yeah.
Well, because if you don't might not need a car in Orlando.
Yeah.
Depending on what you're doing, and so it means you can cut down a little bit on the costs. So you don't only have to have your car hire for the second week. So,
for sure.
Yeah, it saves a bit of money, which you can spend on key lime pie or a drink, margaritas in Key West.
Absolutely. Take the Bright Line down to Miami, pick up your car, and then just road trip the last little bit of the Keys.
Yeah.
What an absolute dream holiday.
And if you, like, a lot of people think Florida doesn't really have any history or anything, because they just think Disney, they think, theme parks. But I love the Florida Keys as such an interesting history, like with Prohibition, and like you say that Key West being a crazy place, but that was all born from like the Prohibition era, which I'm so interested in. And there's so much history. There's a lot of museums and things. I know that's not what people got. Hemingway's house, of course. Yeah, as an English major, I had to go there all the time.
I love that. I thought it was the strangest thing.
It's like if you think, I mean, some people think maybe Florida's not for them. If it's too quiet for them, they want to do something busier. But actually, like, for history buffs, the Florida Keys is very underrated, cultural place, I think. So.
And I think the one thing that we should just touch on the Florida Keys as well is the beaches or lack thereof.
Yes.
Yeah.
And that's it. And I mean that in a good way. But I think it's important that people understand that the beaches...
They're few and far between.
They are few, and they're small. They're small and
man-made.
Man-made. They're beautiful, but they are man-made.
Yeah.
So I think that's probably a little bit of a surprise.
Yeah, definitely. And sort of segueing back into the history side of it, obviously St. Augustine as well is a very, very special place.
Actually.
Yeah.
So for anybody who doesn't know, St. Augustine is the oldest city in the US. I should have looked up the date that it...
Yeah.
I mean, not old
really
compared to like
ago.
UK towns and cities, but old for America.
Very.
So it was all like cobbled streets, very old town feel. They've got the trolley, haven't they?
They've got a trolley. They've got a college there as well, an old college there as well. Yeah. But it is all... It's unbelievable, actually.
Yeah.
It's like no other place that I've ever been.
There's a lot of Spanish influence.
It's very
Spanish.
Very Spanish. Very Spanish influence.
They've got like the water fountains and things, haven't they?
Yes.
They still have like the horse and cart rides
and
things.
Yes, they do. Yeah.
They're really like... I think there's a lot of like ghost tours and things like
there's
that in St. Augustine.
Tours,
I love a ghost tour.
So it's like New Orleans vibes, but in Florida.
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah, it is actually.
Small and boutique-y.
Yeah.
And that's on the beach too?
Yes.
Oh,
yeah, that's on the beach.
Oh, I love a good city next to the beach.
Yeah.
With a bit of beach, a bit of culture.
Yeah.
Bring it on. I'm going next.
Add it to the list.
Yeah.
It's one of the few places I haven't actually been in the state
Yeah, you
of Florida,
really should go.
So,
and again, that's another walkable place. It's a couple of hours from Orlando. I think everything on the coast is a couple of hours, isn't it? As long as you're not going down to Miami. One of my favourite things about going to St. Augustine is that there is a Buc-ee's on the way. So I don't know if... Yeah, so there is a Buc-ee's on the way. And there are few and far between in Florida, but
that's the best thing about a road trip, a Buc-ee's.
Yes, it's one of our favourite bits about a road trip is Buc-ee's.
Florida is a great state for a road trip, I think.
Yes.
People don't really sort of view it so much as that, but... I mean, this, like you said, all of the coastal cities have a totally unique personality.
They're completely different to each other.
And so a road trip it's a great place to road trip because you can stay, stay as long as you want in that place.
Yeah.
Had extra days there. That whole coastline, like you could be in a almost different country every time. It's just so much to do.
For sure, a couple of nights in each, absolutely.
Yeah,
perfect,
I love a road
isn't it?
trip.
Yeah.
Girls' road trip, there you go.
Yeah.
So I've done road trips with my kids, and people are really surprised about it, and they think that they're not suited to kids. But I honestly think the complete opposite. So my kids love checking into a hotel for starters. So a new hotel every 2 days. That's their idea of a dream holiday. Like, oh, we've got a fridge, we've got a hairdryer, like every time. But I think it keeps them busy. It keeps them entertained. I'm not having to entertain them because every 2 days we're somewhere new.
Somewhere new.
Something different for them to look at. And so when people say to me that road trips aren't suited for families, I'm like, I honestly think completely the opposite. Like, they never get bored on a road trip.
For sure. And I mean, Daytona Beach, I mean, that's on that same coastline there as St. Augustine. You've got the Speedway, which is a great attraction for everybody, isn't it?
Everybody's heard of the Daytona 500.
Yeah. And then going to
see a lot of celebrities around there, and that's on as
a
well.
Bit
you do. Yeah, that's a good show.
And you can do like tours of the is it a stadium, a track? I'm not sure what the correct term is.
Yeah.
You can do tours of it.
Yeah.
And they have tons of different events on there throughout the year. So even if you're not there on the actual 500 event, like there's still so much to do.
Yeah.
Daytona's a lot
I'm a
of fun.
big fan of Daytona. I mean, I have to say, I've lots of nice glossy places in Florida to go, but I do love an old school Florida beach town. Like,
You're like you're back to the 90s a little bit.
I do. I want those chairs, the wooden chairs.
The
they have on the those.
Yeah.
I want one. I want them. I want a margarita. I want some chips on the beach.
Yeah.
Ride my bike along the boardwalk.
I love that.
Sort of
before or
70s
after the
style.
margaritas.
Because they've got a great boardwalk, haven't they?
have,
On
yeah.
Daytona,
Yeah.
they've got a great boardwalk. Yeah, I forgot about that.
And like so many little bars. I was there with my son when he was a baby, and he was asleep in his buggy. And we've gone to this like beach cafe, which had obviously become a bar at some point. I was with my friend, and I was suddenly realised I was in the middle of this bar with the baby asleep in the pram. He was such a good baby to sleep through any noise. And eventually they came over and they were like, "Oh, you have to take your baby out because of the rules about being over 21." And I was a bit like, I mean, fair enough.
Spoiled your
What
fun.
must I look like? Because I'm in the middle of this bar with my he wasn't newborn, but he was about 6 months old. But yeah, it's just such a great, it's very laid back there. Like, I love that beach. And if you keep going, you've got Cocoa Beach.
Yes.
Which is another cool place. My kids just love sitting and watching the surfing.
Yes.
There, because all the surfers will be out early in the morning, which is great to watch. And then you're on the Space Coast there, so you're close to Kennedy Space Centre.
We love Cocoa Beach. My best friend is born and raised Cocoa Beach. So when I was living out in Orlando, we spent a lot of time out there over on the coast, and we actually saw a shuttle launch from the beach. Like, we stayed there on the beach, just hung out all day, and we did get really, really lucky. It's just gorgeous. A lot of like kite surfing and things like that on the coast as well. So,
and it's cheap. Like, it's not cheap, but it's
good
it's
value.
It's affordable. Yeah, like those cafes, it's all just places that you can go to wear your flip-flops and t-shirts. You haven't got to worry about getting dolled up.
Yeah.
And it's just, it's relaxed. And I think when you've already spent a lot of money in your other destinations, you come there and it's such a relief to just be like, oh, you know what? It's stress-free dinner with the kids. They're playing on the sand while you're having a drink. It just... Yeah, big fan of Cocoa.
Yeah, you can roll in from the beach. It doesn't matter if you're still a bit sandy. And, very chilled out.
And that coast is a bit choppier, like you say, than the Gulf Coast. But if you've got slightly older kids, like I've got an 8-year-old boy, and I mean bodyboarding and stuff like that. We bought like a $5 bodyboard from Target or something.
And that was the highlight of his holiday.
I mean, he was entertained for hours. It was great. I was just sitting reading my book, which never happens.
Perfect.
So yeah, my partner was in the sea with him. Sorry, just to be clear.
I think one of my main memories from Cocoa Beach was doing the Stingray Shuffle.
Oh,
the Stingray Shuffle.
Is that like a new dance trend that I don't know?
There's a lot of maybe it was the season, maybe it was the time of year that we happened to be there. But when we went to Cocoa, there was a lot of stingrays in the ocean. Yeah,
oh, wow.
So you had to sort of do the stingray shuffle.
I feel like somebody's had you on here.
No, it's the truth. Because obviously they're on the bottom of
flat,
on the bottom of the. You have to sort of so as not to step
Shuffle
on them.
along.
Oh, that is
you don't want to get obviously stung.
No. Maybe we won't say that on the podcast.
The Stingray Shuffle, check it out. Yeah.
Stingray Shuffle. That's going to be on our to-do list.
Just really quickly though, so for Kennedy Space Centre, I think it's such an underrated attraction for people. They sort of view it as an afterthought. And I was just going to say, I did as well. I didn't, but I just thought, oh, we'll need to get around that. I mean, you need a full day there. So if you're going to go to Kennedy Space Centre when you're in Coco, like you need to be there opening time because there is a lot to do there.
Full day.
And I was the biggest geek in the world. I loved it so much. I can't wait to go back.
Yeah,
loved it.
Oh, brilliant, fabulous. We're jumping around a little bit here, but let's just have a quick chat about Crystal River. Obviously, Florida is known for alligators, but we cannot forget the adorable manatee.
The sea cows.
I think Crystal River has got. I mean, it's probably not, but I think it's the number one for manatee.
I think it's the number one migrating manatee.
Well, they're there all year, I think, aren't they? Because the water's.
Some of them are, like they have resident manatee.
Yes, that's right.
I'm not a manatee expert, but I have been to Crystal River and I was listening. I do sometimes listen.
That's right, resident manatee.
They have the resident
correct.
ones, and then in the winter months, that's when you'll see them. I mean, you can't miss them. They're
gorgeous.
Oh my God, manatees are the most gorgeous animals.
They are.
So
there is nothing like seeing them in the wild. I haven't seen them at Crystal River myself, but I've seen them elsewhere in Florida, and like it's just so special. Like you sort of semi-expect to see a dolphin, but then I feel like manatees are a bit of a hidden surprise that not everybody quite knows about.
And you can't get too close to a dolphin, like really. But I mean, it's awful because when we were there, we went swimming and my kids accidentally, where they were swimming, and a manatee swam under them and the mangroves were there. So they were, it was grasses and stuff, so they didn't really see it. And so my little girl basically stood on the manatee, which but I mean, she doesn't weigh anything, but she had a life vest on. But she tells people, she goes, oh, we went to Florida and I stood on a manatee. And I'm like, Isabel, can you stop telling people that you stood on an animal because like that's really bad. Like you must have. I'm like, no, don't say that. But that's how close you are to them. Like you have to be like. It's the same with the stingrays. You have to be really. I mean, I would obviously be aware of it, but she was suddenly like, it was a rock. Oh no, that is a manatee. But oh gosh, they're just
they're so
lovely.
peaceful, aren't they? When we did it. Because you've obviously got the beautiful springs at Crystal River as well. So you're really lucky if you get to see the manatee in the actual springs. We swam with them in the more open water, and they'd had a storm the day before, so the water was quite cloudy and churned up. So as gentle as they are, it still comes as a little bit of a shock when they just sort of bump into you when you're not expecting it. But for anybody that loves the manatee and wants to see them out there in the wild, so to speak, Crystal River's definitely got to be on the list. I think it's got to be.
Was there other things to do in the springs at Crystal River? Like, can you kayak and things like that up there as well?
And I was going to say, one of the best things I did in Crystal River was an airboat trip. It was an individual one. It was just a local guy. The company was called Azello Boats. And I hadn't really, my kids wanted to do it. And I was like, yeah, cool, we get on. I've been on airboats before, like blah, blah, being a typical person that's been to Florida more than once. And got on this boat. We went through the town and then it opened up to the Gulf of Mexico. And
amazing.
I mean, how I gasped. I couldn't believe it. And then he hit the throttle and we went and the dolphins were jumping alongside of us. It was, I've got goosebumps now. It was unbelievable. And we did so much on that trip. We had a 3-week Florida trip. We went all over. And when I say to my kids, what was your favourite thing? It was that boat ride. It was it was unbelievable, honestly. And then it's such a nice way to be in nature and not interfere with the animals because the dolphins were coming over. They love playing in that, like,
they like playing in the spray, don't they?
And it's just, so and that was in Crystal River as well. So everybody thinks of the manatees, but it's also really good access to the Gulf of Mexico as well. And we stopped and we looked down and you could see all the fish, like turtles. There was, it was unbelievable. It was, highly recommend. And it's an easy drive if you are doing a dual centre with Orlando. I think,
I think it's about 2 hours probably.
Yeah. And it's a nice place in Florida. It's lots of independent business. I think the main high street there doesn't have any chain stores. So if you want like a Walmart Target, you do have to go out of the sort of,
you've got to do
and I think that's just so nice when you've been to a place which is very highly commercial to go to somewhere that just feels really homegrown and
it's like the real Florida, isn't it? Like whenever you think Florida, obviously you think theme parks, but that is not the real Florida. There's so much more to it. Like and even the beaches up on the Panhandle and things. We've not even touched on that.
Oh gosh,
And
don't get me started up on that.
that's a
I
whole
love
other
the
podcast.
Panhandle. Yeah, another podcast.
We'll earmark that for next time.
Yeah, we've got so much to do.
Helen, I would just like to ask you, as we always do, our 3 sort of quick fire questions, our lightning round questions. So, what does your first day look like on a Florida holiday that doesn't include the parks? What would your first day look like?
All right, can I be really basic now?
Always.
I like to go to Target first.
Yay!
I do know why. If you're staying in a villa, obviously you've got to go shopping anyway.
Yeah.
But there's just something about getting to America and going in one of those big supermarkets. I want to get a load of sweets for the kids to eat in the car. I want all of the candy. Like I just, and I want to look at everything. Like, and so I'll get up earlier and go and be like, you guys meet me at Target.
Time by yourself.
Yeah,
I love that.
Yeah. But I like that Florida morning, like the fresh air before it gets too hot. Get your coffee, obviously after Target, and just start that day in a chilled Florida way. Because if you're out of the theme park zone, then that is what Florida is, chilled. And you know, if you've got a busy life, you can just wake up and you can just enjoy that cool morning air. Like, that sounds really hippie. Also love Target.
Yeah,
Who doesn't love Target? Why do we do that? Why do we do it? It's just a shop. We all do it though. I get it. Yeah.
And have you got a hidden gem for us?
I wouldn't say it was hidden. It's a very big city.
Hiding in plain sight.
Yeah, hiding in plain sight. Tampa.
Right, okay.
So you can take flights now from the UK, direct flights into Tampa, which is obviously really great for Anna Maria Island and for Crystal River, actually, if you're going to visit those destinations.
And someone, just sorry to interrupt you there, but just as someone from the more northern part of the country. It's great for us up in the north because the Manchester to Tampa route.
You got that. Oh, so Manchester direct Tampa on British Airways or Virgin
Aer Lingus.
Oh, Lingus, excellent. Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
Well, exactly. So if you're going that way, I think people just think, oh, it's just a gateway in. But it's like Tampa is a great city. There's absolutely loads to do for families there. But also if you're child-free and you're on an adult trip, like it's just a great city for nightlife, amazing food, like so many different cultural influences, like Native American, Cuban, Spanish, like just a really great outdoorsy city with a lot of atmosphere. So yeah, definitely if you're flying into Tampa and you've got a couple of extra days, I highly recommend staying in Tampa because it's underrated. I think you don't hear people talking about it that much.
It's quite a nice idea that if you're flying into Tampa, you normally get in a bit later in the day. You can, you've not got to rush straight over to Orlando, collect your car. It's a very easy drive to Orlando, but you've not got to rush to collect the car. You could spend a night or two in Tampa
and have like some really good food.
Yeah,
it's relaxed. It's a great city.
Perfect.
Yeah, that's my not so hidden gem.
And your travel hack. Have you got a travel hack for us?
A Florida one?
A Florida
travel hack?
non-theme park travel hack.
Oh, let's think. I think I know I sort of touched on it before. I think road trips are my travel hack.
Yeah.
Because there's something about getting to America, especially with kids in tow, if you've got your kids with you, like it's a whole day, it's a whole thing. And so when I get there, I want to do as much as I possibly can. I don't just really want to stay in one place. So my hack is, road trip, get a car. You can get some really affordable deals and packages and, go a couple of places here, a couple of places there. The accommodation doesn't need to be expensive. And I think if you do a road trip as well, you can vary your accommodation. So sometimes we'll have a really cheap motel for a couple of days, somewhere that we know we're going to be out most of the day, or somewhere a bit quieter, some of the beaches in the south where it's just more about the ambience and vibe. You've got a little bit of extra money coming out the pot. You can stay somewhere a bit nicer. Yeah. And so it gives you that variety. And as I say, my kids never get bored on a road trip. Something new to do every day, something to see. And then also, if you go somewhere that you particularly loved, like Isla Morada in the Keys, which is one of my favourites, and Key Largo, you can think, right, next time, that was my favourite place, so I'm going to have a couple of extra days there.
Yeah.
And then maybe you could try a different place. And I just think if you're going to be, you know, booking your trip, getting all the way out there, see as much as absolutely possible.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So
That's I'm going to take that top tip for my next trip. I keep saying to my husband, all right, I've got a next trip lined up. And he'll say, well, what is it this time? Because every time it changes. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me. Talk about my favourite topic.
Oh, do you know what? We've had a great time and we could go on for a long time. But we are the Florida Holidays podcast. You can follow us on all of our socials. We're on Instagram and YouTube and Spotify. Helen, where can our listeners find you online?
So you can find me on Instagram and TikTok at PassportStamps.UK. And my blog is passportstamps.uk.
Perfect.
Wonderful.
Thank you so much. So goodbye from us. We will see you next time.
See you next time. Thank you. Bye.